Great to be out here at Browns camp with Dillon Gabriel today. Dillon, I know this is an interview about you, but I can't be so reflective to think about 40 years ago this week. I was sitting in this chair as the rookie quarterback in training camp, trying to represent cool and trying to represent knowledge of the offense and really not wanting to make mistakes within the huddle with veteran guys like Ozzie Newsome. But some of the thoughts going through your head as you sit here and to finish your first week at camp?
Yeah, just constant improvement and growth. And I think the fun part of being a rookie is, you really do start at the bottom and there's only, going up from there in terms of learning. And of course there's a learning curve and things that you have to adjust to from, a college game to the NFL game. And you quickly realize the differences. But I think that's all exciting. And as a competitor, you look forward to. But I love that you brought up the calls in the huddle because definitely veterans, when they're used to a huddle a certain way. It's demanded of anyone who walks in that huddle. So it's also a good thing for us.
Yeah, and it's one of the things that I love how you answer it, and then some of the initial reports, kind of how you're handling that, because it's for the viewers, for the fans out there, it's completely realistic to not have 100% grasp of the offense, of all the terminology as a rookie, and especially at this point in camp. Yet you want to get in with the huddles, you want to get in with the veterans. You're in with Joel Petonio. I mean, you don't want to look like a meathead mumbling, fumbling, bumbling on your words. So you want to be representing, confidence and belief in yourself. You seem to be doing that. Do you spend a lot of time in the OTAs and post-OTAs doing the mental side of it?
For sure. I think the confidence is in the preparation, and knowing that I put in a bunch of time studying, knowing your job cold. I think the best way to show up to practice and show that you're a great teammate is being prepared and creating confidence in your teammates as well. So that's been big for me. But also throughout that time, I think OTAs definitely was, here's all the information, digest it. And Coach always jokes around about, the elephant and taking, just a bite at a time, not eating it all at once. And I think it's been good for us to have that month off where I could digest it, kind of go through the different footworks and get confident in it so that when we come out to training camp, it's
well, to that latter point, and it's why I could understand that you're exactly telling the truth and correct, because it comes across your mental knowledge and your mental familiarity with something still so new, to the point where, to your footwork, and in college and high school, mostly a shotgun quarterback. Coach Musgraves last week and noted, and even myself kind of talking to you before you got on air. Again, not saying this to be a suck up, but an incredibly impressive under center, taking snaps, footwork, and ball handling. Obviously, you need to understand what you're doing mentally to be able to add to your game to physically grow, and you've done that. What do you think about the under center part of the game?
Yeah, I think it's mostly due to body control, and I think in a shotgun you kind of are already deep in the pocket and can kind of set the depth. Versus when you're under center, there's a rush to get back, and you got to have the body control or the consistency in reps to feel really good about it. And I mean, the amount of under center snaps I took throughout our month off, even pre-draft, I knew that was going to be a point of emphasis for myself, but also that's part of the game and part of the differences from college to NFL.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic as an old man now in my 60s, seeing how when I was groomed as a young quarterback, it was all under center, firm, big first step, get away from center, plant hard on 3, 5, and 7, have body position, butt underneath you when you're throwing. You end up being a little sloppy when you're in the shotgun, or could get sloppy in your footwork and stuff. So younger quarterbacks sometimes struggle being firm and crisp, and more decisive in their under center snaps.
For sure. I think under center too. I think you look at the NFL game, right? Not saying there wasn't a bunch of elite pass rushers back in the day, but I think just with the type of athletes that are on the field now, you want to consistently move the launch point, and that's in shotgun, under center, different ways you can move it, whether it's keepers, half rolls, play action pass. I think you got to have that in your arsenal to be able to, make these guys,
Yeah,
consistently get.
very well said. A young rookie quarterback saying that out there. I wish this guy would have learned that at year 10 in my career. I thought I had to go the other direction, be drop back, do all the cool stuff, call the plays, and that led to an early retirement for me and bad production on the field. So you'll have way more success doing things the way you just articulated it. Hey, what's your favorite route to throw?
Honestly, I just love runners. I love the feeling of throwing a ball that can be caught and, let the guys go and, do their job, which is, it's fun, to see guys catch runners, digs, corners, even shallows, just taking it for hopefully for 60. But, I love to see, receivers go do their thing.
So when you hear blitz zero and you're preparing for it, what's the first thing that gets into your head?
You got to have answers, and that's out of every formation, 3-by-1, 2-by-2, in empty. You got to have zero answers, and that's something that, I love that we work on, and different things to get to. I think more game plan driven it will be, but the main thing is you got to have answers.
Yeah. So coming from your shotgun, like you have in your past, and having a predominant amount of 5- and 6-man protections, when you get those zero blitzes with the short corners, you tend to struggle. It tends to be tough throwing the intermediate to, for sure, deeper routes to get that running type guys moving, where I get excited for you and hearing that answer, and then just knowing kind of your skill set and hearing Coach Musgrave talk about your footwork and your play action and stuff. When you add the play action game with the 6, 7, 8-man protection, 7, 8, blitz zero now allows your receivers, your fast receivers, to get into the DBs, get them over routes, those posts, those bow outs, those dig routes. And I see that being something that, man, if I'm you, if I could relive 40 years ago, optimizing seeing blitz zero to really attack it with those type throws.
Anytime you can mix those in, and like you were saying, just catch these runners, you let them go do their thing, and that's important.
Hey, I know we're wrapping. I wanted to ask you, you're picked third. You got 2 quarterbacks, 2 veteran quarterbacks. You got 2 rookie quarterbacks. You got 3 preseason games. How do you handle yourself with the PR? Because publicly you've handled it good, but privately being able to get all the reps. We're used to being the guy getting all the reps. Yep. Now you're trying to learn mentally, and then you're competing with veterans and you're competing with another rookie.
I think it's just being myself, and I want to be a great teammate. That's how I show up to practice. But also, we do live in a world of, results are where it's driven. It's a results-based business. So want to see things that happen on the practice field get onto the game field. But, all I can do is control what I can control, and that's my reps, but also being a great teammate to the QBs, to receivers, any guys that need help, and, a great conversation, within that. But I'm excited for the team. I'm excited that we get to do this together. All of this is going to make our team better and see the depth and the strength throughout that. So I think the way we're doing it is perfect for what we want to do. Well, congrats on the start of camp. Great sitting down with you, and I'm super looking forward to seeing in live action. You're so right. Practice, is important, and you absolutely need outcomes and have it translate into the game. Unfortunately, our quarterback position is the only one where the threat of death isn't there until live game time. So your history has showed your calmness in the pocket and your ability to, as we were talking earlier, climb up instead of run up, keeping your eyes up the field. So looking forward to seeing live action. Appreciate that.